What's up, Elvis?
I am Big Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg.
I'm all
I am
right.
here. Oh, what up, guy?
What's happening, Captain?
How are you, man?
Chilling like a villain.
I just picked Ulrich up.
Yes, sir.
And we were able to converse for all of 5, 6, 7 minutes.
You're really anxious to do the show. Really
I am
excited.
anxious to do the show, too. I am excited. I am elated. I am forever. Look at this person laying on the streets over here. Look at this. You see this? That's dramatic.
Yeah, I think, and you see that so commonly now, you kind of get numb to it.
It's a total stage. That person is an actor. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, so there's a person with kind of a towel that we observed laying on the ground with their feet kind of up.
Just like lounging.
Yeah.
Almost looked like they were doing like a crunch.
I mean, the weather's kind of nice.
Yeah, and then there was like this little like thing that they must travel with. You know, this traveling.
Oh, that little, I didn't know
like
what that, I couldn't see what that was. Was
like
that
a shopping
stool?
cart, maybe. Yeah, he had like a stool.
Wow.
I have this whole theory that, 70% of the people that are that you see, these homeless, so to speak, are just, actors keeping us calm. You see, and then it's right outside the bank. So when you go to the bank and it's not what you expected, you still got all these bills to pay, and then you step out and you see that guy on the floor with the stool on his stomach, looking like he's hanging out doing crutches, and then he throws like a towel over him so you don't know if he's naked or what, and then there's other things. Yeah, you say to yourself, hey, ain't so bad. Things could be worse.
You kind of, it is shocking because when I'd be walking downtown, you'd see like in heavy traffic in like places like not Grand Central. What's the east version of Grand Central? Is it
Grand Central?
That is Grand
east.
Central. That is east.
Port Authority is west.
Yeah, Port Authority is west. All right, thank you. So Grand Central, they'd be like a glut of people walking back and forth this way and that way, and there'd be like a good number of like crazy people doing crazy things, but not bumping or knocking into anybody. It's like, how could they, if they're so like, because I think what a real legitimate mental illness is really unpredictable. You cannot control. So there's no, like, I don't know how they could be perfectly conducting themselves with so much traffic and be acting so, it's like a controlled craziness.
It is.
It's like that. They'd be swinging their arms dramatically but not hit anybody.
Yeah.
That it isn't that, it's really not that odd that you're suspicious. Because it's, especially in New York City, there's a lot of them. I wonder, that would be, somebody got to break that story. If they just got to catch one of them and break that story.
Dude, I almost caught a lot of them. Dude.
Yeah.
Going into this one building, it was very suspicious. I started to almost honestly like lose my mind because I saw this guy, and this guy is sitting down in Manhattan, and all around him he has these huge legs, like the size of like elephantitis legs, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this freaking guy get out of that leg thing and walk regular. It's like, yo,
that's dramatic.
yo, come on,
Right,
man.
well,
What's going on here, man?
like a costume?
It's like a costume. It was all done in plastic, with plastic bags, and it was just crazy. It's right across the street from 4040 Club.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the dude, and I was just like, yo, didn't I just see this guy? So this is what happened. I see the guy walking, right? And there was just something about this guy walking that his clothes, I was thinking, oh, they must be filming a movie around here because his clothes look so dirty, but his legs and his arms and his body was so healthy and strong.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, oh, they must be filming a movie nearby. And I go to 4040, I have a drink or two, didn't think anything of it. I'm now walking over to my car, and as I'm walking to my car, to the right on the ground, sitting there is this man that has these huge elephantitis legs. And I'm like, that's kind of messed up, this dude with the legs. Didn't even put the 2 and 2 together, nothing, didn't think about it at all, never happened again. I am now 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, driving down the block of 4040. I'm contemplating if I'm going to go to 4040. So I find the parking spot, I park, I look to my left, and right away I see the guy with the, because it was his teeth. I realize now, oh, that's what drew my attention, was the fact that this dude had freaking veneers. I'm like, because I'm all into teeth, especially since I lost my number 12. You know, I'm very upset about this whole number 12 thing. You know, I spent $2,000 to get it fixed, and then if I'm eating a ham sandwich and the thing breaks off, and this is a true story, and I take it back to the guy, and he's like, yeah, it's gonna cost you 4 G's now. I'm like, whoa. So I noticed his teeth were like veneers, and I was like, whoa. And then I see his legs, and I was like, yo. I said, yo, dude, I saw you. And I get out of the car and I said, yo, wait, didn't I see you the other week? He said, man, you never seen me in your life. You never seen me. Now he's acting crazy, super like crazy, like a crazy person in a movie. And I was just like, yo, man, I know you, man. And then I go like this to him. I says, yo, you that actor. I remember you. You was on TV. And the dude flipped out. Went out of his, you don't fucking know me. And I said, yeah, look at you. I bet you could kick my ass. So I told him, I said, I bet you could kick my ass too, like nothing. You could kick my ass like nothing. Yeah, I know. I just want to let you know that I fucking see you and you ain't tricking me. And then he was just like, and he was pissed off and upset. So that led to a 2.5-year obsession that I was following the homeless in New York City. It was absolutely crazy. I was like, I'm going crazy. I was telling my wife, baby, I'm losing my mind here. This is craziness. But what I uncovered was nothing. I didn't uncover anything. I'm going to say that for the record. I didn't cover anything. But the people that you think are homeless are not homeless. These people all have homes. They just out there either panhandling. There's like a huge percentage that are just panhandlers as a career. And then there's another percentage of people that are definitely spraying their clothes dirty to come across, like a lot of the panhandlers, they look like regular people. They got on regular clothes. They don't look like out of their mind homeless, but there's that group that comes off as absolutely crazy, that ain't crazy. They're actors and they're being paid, they're being fed, and they're being housed.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible. And you got, I mean, you saw it like you saw it right in front of your face. So
yeah. It was,
in very least, if there's one, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And then the paranoia started to sit in. It was crazy. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Legitimate. I don't think that's even paranoia. I think it's, with the glut of homelessness. And I actually think about it. I think that a story probably written. I bet somebody probably did go undercover as a homeless person and got their trust and either got somebody to talk and got somebody to admit. And I bet that story was squashed by the editor because they didn't want them to look like people think the homeless are liars. Because there's benefit to the homeless problem. There's a lot of profit come to this. That's why they keep on making it last forever. If they really thought this was an actual problem, it'd be nipped in the bud in a second.
If they thought homelessness was a real problem, they would nip it in the bud in a second. Hey, yo, somebody write that down. That was fire. Yeah, homelessness, all that stuff can be solved, but they don't want to solve that because it's way too profitable. I just think the sun in our
that is a good idea. That's a good idea.
It's only gonna be up for like 15 more minutes. You look great in sunlight.
That's
you look great in
idea.
sunlight.
That is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's not. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's
Why let's torture ourselves? Let's try to do it.
What I was gonna do was I was going to sun gaze as we do the show.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is. Is it as crazy as following the homeless for 2.5 years?
I mean, I would be curious. I mean, if I had spare time and I didn't have something to do, but I don't know. That's a long. If you really wanted to get any results,
bills and those.
I mean,
like
if you really want to get results, you probably have to do it for a long, long time. So that's like, you're gonna really have to be in those. You're gonna have to be like, oh, you need to watch The Wire.
Yeah, I didn't watch the
that thing you gave me.
The thing that we put back here.
No, the other thing. No, the shit you gave me for later.
Oh, it was like 5 or 6, right?
Yeah, it's in my pockets.
I don't know. It's probably fell. We'll find it later. No big deal. We're back. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg is back here with his co-host.
Ulrich.
And Ulrich is the educator. He is my professional. Whenever there's a kid who's beating up on teachers and the video is out, we are going to Ulrich.
Allow us to reintroduce ourselves.
Right. Feels like the show just started. Well, you know, all of this stuff I'm going to be able to be doing. I finally pulled the Mac out of storage. So I pulled out, wiped it down, plugged it up. It's time.
Big.
You know, so we got 100 shorts coming. So
Word up.
that's a fact.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Donald Trump. And I think I can honestly call Donald Trump and be sincere about it when I say these words. My nigga.
Is that because he's a convicted felon?
Of course. He's a convicted felon. Me and him, we're like connected. I'm a convicted felon. He's a convicted felon. We have this some sort of like this camaraderie there. Isn't there some like tribalism there?
Yeah, but think that, let's see how much that benefits Trump, because that technically that won't garner him any votes based on that. Because convicted felons can't vote.
I can vote.
You can?
Yeah, convicted felons can vote. Are you kidding me? They need my vote. That's all a lie.
Wait. I thought isn't after. Yeah, I thought it's after, or there's a time where you can vote. Wait, I got it.
Maybe a probation or parole.
Wait, I got it.
If you're on probation or parole, I don't know if you can vote. But when I was on probation and parole, I didn't care about voting. I was a kid. And by the way, the conviction is for stealing flowers. They were yelling at me. They were calling me the 1-800 boys. 1-800 flower boy.
Yeah, no. You can't. You can only vote in all but 2 states, Vermont and Maine. Voting age citizens convicted of a felony are barred from voting for at least some period of time. Restrictions on the felony right to vote are summarized below. Voting rights retained while incarcerated so only in Maine and Vermont can you vote for not just automatically. There's a time period, but I guess it varies.
I think there was a time when they were like, let me just say this. I came home when I was old. I am now 50. And when I came home, I don't remember anyone saying, listen, now that you're home, let's get you voting.
Well, why should somebody have to tell somebody to vote?
No, I'm saying
I don't think people should.
I'm in agreement with that, but you know how they always act like they're trying to acclimate you to society.
I hate that. Well, you should know. Why should you vote? Why should you vote? Especially if you're ignorant of the topics. Hold on to your vote if you don't know exactly what you're voting for.
Of course.
Why you shouldn't just vote just to vote? That's ridiculous. Focus on
when
the
did you
issues.
first vote? What was your voting experience?
I've never voted.
You've never voted?
Yeah, but this election, I'm definitely gonna vote.
Okay.
This election, I'm definitely voting.
I'm not voting unless. All right, we're not gonna even get to that. Okay. That's coming in a second. Pause. No diddy. Right. Let me think. Is the air conditioner fine? You good?
Air conditioner, everything's good.
Don't forget, this thing has a weird sound that it makes every once in a while.
Don't bring their attention to it now.
No, I'm just saying. I don't want you looking at me like flashing. They would have noticed it if you didn't mention it. All right. Let me think. So 34 counts. This man, Donald J. Trump, has been convicted of. I can now say honestly and feel good about calling him my nigga. But here's the thing. Now we just learned that there are 2 states that you can just vote. It doesn't matter that you have a felony, and the other states have these provisions. When I remember, I don't remember any provisions. I was so young. I didn't vote into Obama.
No. Yeah, it's possible you had like some time. Yeah, the time, like they said, like maybe you were sick for a period of time.
Exactly. So this is around the Diddy campaign, Vote or Die. When Diddy would die, I got in line and I lined up.
Wait, that was the John Kerry, George W. Bush.
Vododine?
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
then
what I
that's
said.
so then I must have.
He might have. I mean, he might have recycled it again. But I remember that
I
was
probably
heavy when I
voted
was.
for Carrie
Yeah.
then. I probably
That,
voted for
yeah.
Carrie.
That shit was heavy. Like I remember when I was freaking like 13, 14.
Right, vote or
And then
die,
South
vote
Park
or
made an
die.
episode about like parodying Diddy about that.
Yeah, it was like the first time, and then I also voted for there. I voted for believe it or not, actually voted for Giuliani.
Whoop whoop. That's a great
I
vote.
actually
Great
voted for
vote.
Giuliani
Great vote.
because I was big on. I used to have a slogan that I used to say, you know, Giuliani, he made me. And that was like the joke where, like, now they even have that viral. I'm a such and such. That's of course I da 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 da. You
Mm.
know, years ago saying I voted for Giuliani
Have a little
because
bumper sticker
like that was a
pin.
slow. I voted for Giuliani because he made me get a job. And I remember the cops back in the day, they were walking down the blocks in rows like they do in like in France, when the police come and they try to move people from one block to the next block, this is what they were doing with drug spots when Giuliani was here.
Hey, marching them
Yeah,
down.
he was marching the
Cleaning
spot,
up.
was
Hey.
going block to block, and they didn't have any warrants. They didn't have any surveillance. They didn't even care. Everybody you saw that looked like they were popping was getting surrounded, arrested, car was getting impounded. They had to have proof how they got this, proof how you're gonna get bail, proof how you're gonna do this. It did not pay to be a criminal when Giuliani was running New York. That's
I
a
remember.
fact.
Yeah, when I was like a kid, like 9, 6, like 6 to like maybe 4, 6, 8, when my mom would take me like to Macy's and shit for the Santa Claus and all that nonsense.
Right.
Like the 34th Street looked like an oasis. It looked like the prettiest place like I've ever in the world. So I don't
Seriously,
know what.
125th Street.
The trains were still the trains. I do remember it because I do remember seeing like some weird mess up stuff on the trains when I was younger. But outside, but like downtown, I remember just being like the prettiest place, like 23rd Street. I went to school in Chelsea from PS11 from kindergarten to 4th grade, and like everything was pretty. Now there's nowhere else. But actually, no. Chelsea's still clean.
Chelsea is, yeah.
How do they keep the homeless people off that block? I really don't understand.
Chelsea does have them, but they have the crazy looking ones.
No,
that
they
don't
clean,
bump you or
they,
touch you or do anything.
No,
like
when I
they
see Chelsea, they're
crazy.
always like I don't see them like hanging on the block. Like some blocks, like maybe Times Square or maybe 34th Street.
Right.
That's just homeless to land. Maybe because that's Penn Station Port Authority.
Right.
But like Chelsea. Like, and I like to walk
Chelsea's
a lot. I
pretty
walk
big.
constantly.
What part of Chelsea you talking
20.
about?
Okay, yeah, that's right. Maybe 23rd Street, like 20. I don't know why
So
I thought that was
strip
Century.
of 23rd.
23rd Street, like to
pretty cleaned
Chelsea
up?
Piers,
Right.
from like, which is like on 11th, 12th Ave, all the way to like 7th Ave. Because I love walking for long periods of time. And that's one of my favorite areas to walk. And there's like piers down that way. It's like the nicest. It looks like a New America or something.
Wow, New America. Okay, I like that. Chelsea, the New America.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to it's shocking how they keep it so like clean. Even Soho, I see a lot of homeless people that congregate.
Right. But yeah, there are some like the Upper East Side is the cleanest of the. Upper East Side is like Japan, it's just.
Wait, is that like 103rd, like or?
Well, the Upper East Side, I would say, starts from 72nd Street.
Oh yeah.
And they'll go all the way up to
Central Park, yeah. Next level.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they keep them out there either.
Yeah, that's where I used to chef at. I chefed on the Upper East Side. So I did a lot of chefing on the Upper East Side. We had our own elevators. We everyone that was in these certain buildings had a staff of at least 3 people. And we're talking about 10,000 people working to feed the ultra rich, or maybe 500 people working to feed 10,000 people or something like that. It was a lot of us. I wasn't alone.
To be honest, they're not. I gotta say, around those areas, like maybe until 72nd, people really aren't that friendly. Like they're not really meeting your eyes or smiling at you.
That's a
so
good
much.
point.
Yeah,
They are very
I do gotta say,
classist over there. Yeah, and
it's
then
like they can tell you don't live there or something like that. Even though
yeah.
you could be dressed all, pretty relatively nice. You're like, please.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's because it doesn't matter how you dress for these people on the Upper
Yeah,
East
because they
Side.
can tell.
They can smell.
Yeah.
They can smell you. But let me just also tell you this. And you know who brought this to my attention was the doc. Doctor surgeon who also has done the show with us. Who was the one who called and interrupted the show respectfully. he he's the one that told me. He was like, yo, look at their skin up there when you're working for these people. He says, look at, and he wasn't lying. They're like a dying breed of people from in the Upper East Side. That money, that wealth, that white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, what's that, waspy
Yeah.
world. They are the sun is their enemy. That's a fact. And they are, yeah, the sun is their enemy, and that's a
That
fact.
is kind of true.
Now, and you know, a lot of the people that I was cooking for, it was only like salt and pepper. It was almost no flavor whatsoever. I make it colorful, of course, with some, the right not dill peppers, but like red peppers and stuff. But as far as the taste of the food, the taste of the cooking of the food and the way it was cooked was more important than actually the way it tastes. It's very bizarre. It was very, very super uber
Yeah, and
bizarre.
the food is disgusting there too.
In the Upper East Side, yeah. It's a very bland palate going up there.
Yeah, I don't know. It just isn't like I got like a smoothie over there even like that, and I get those. They be having some crazy like coffee like shops and stuff like that.
See what it was? You didn't tell them the code word. So they
gave me the bullshit.
Yeah,
you
didn't give them the
a
code
different
word.
menu.
Yeah, did you ever see the what's this guy? Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy did that skit while on SNL where he put on the plastic, the those like implants or whatever it was, the prosthetics, and he was dressed as a white person. He went to the stores and they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm paying for this," and they're like, What's going on? You're sorry. Like, what are you doing? It was great. Have you ever seen that?
Nah, I don't
you
know
have got to see that. It's hilarious.
Like they treated him they treated him better than expected.
Well, he just came around as a white guy, and I believe it was the Upper East Side, and everyone was like, he was trying to pay for things, and they wouldn't let him pay.
It was just ridiculous. Oh, gotcha.
He's like,
you're like, oh no, you take it.
He's like, what? It was a great skit, SNL. What else?
But
what
that
else
the seeing that world really doesn't entice me.
It didn't entice me neither. Even the artwork and all that. I started to be like, okay.
All the people seem all sad. They never talk to each other. They was on their phones because they're always sitting outside on eating lunch. They're always sitting outside just be seen. They dress the best I've ever seen. They just dress to eat lunch. Fucking, it looks like high fashion, high designer stuff.
Right. Like this little black line, it would be a little more like silk, right? It'd just be a little shine to the edges of everything. Everything got a little edge, has a little sparkle. Yeah.
But the women are hot, man.
Huh?
Women are hot. Even the ones with the weird flat butts, they're still hot.
Right. I love a flat butt, so there's no big deal. All that stuff that we see going on, it's out of control.
It's the face. The faces are crazy hot. The body's always weird, oblong, but the faces are really just crazy beautiful. The crazy beautiful faces.
Right. Well, we talked a little bit about. Did we even talk about Trump, the 34 count? Like yet?
I did not watch the trial. I'm not concerned. I didn't take it seriously. I think it was more of a. We know it's a show trial essentially. It's going to have no effect on whether or not he can participate in the presidential race. It's not going to disqualify him. It definitely could garner support for him because he's especially people who feel disenfranchised, like this is another man attacked by the system, vote for him. he's going into libertarian spaces, talking, getting ready to be booed, just saying, "Hey, look, take a chance on me. I promise I'm gonna put a libertarian in the cabinet." And libertarians do not like Trump. So, I'm still optimistic. It was sad when I had a flash of depression because I actually thought, oh shoot, something might, they're gonna do some again, some shenanigans again. Like it's gonna make people hopeless or like otherwise drastic. People are gonna go to different extremes like that if they really feel like they're constantly being uh, not put in a fair position. Just how revolutions happen in countries, but real revolutions, not fake contrived ones that are controlled by the government.
Has there ever been a real revolution?
Oh, come on. Yeah, definitely been real revolutions. There's a lot of revolutions are based on other countries' foreign interests. They got, like, my country, my family's from Sierra Leone. Their 10-year-long civil war was based on some guy, Charles something, who with Libya, another country, and he started getting in our leaders there because he wanted support there, and he started a war, and so it didn't even have anything to do with him. Anyway, so there's conflicts that are like fake and contrived, but I think you definitely can have real, genuine revolutions. Some of them had to be real. Some of them you think it became more contrived or more fake? Like world wars are fake. World wars are completely fake, are fake. In so far as like the casualties are real, the consequences are real, but the situation, it's not fighting for competing ideologies.
Right.
There's a lot of just self-interest and
Sirhan and
it's not
and
a fascism versus thing. That's
and
not
all that. The weapons of mass destruction.
No, those are like reasons for getting into war. But I mean, you're actually right. Well, I don't even know what I was saying. Yeah, it's exactly what I meant.
Right. So if all these wars, if we look at it under it doesn't have to be a small microscope. It could just be like the child-sized microscope that you get, the plastic one, where you can see like just a little squiggly line. That right there shows, we don't need anything too deep and intense to go or into the cell or anything like that. What we need is just to see that possibly if all these wars are contrived, then what makes you think a revolution isn't?
I mean, the wars are. I mean, the reasons behind the wars are the justification behind the wars are like fake, but but revolutions are people like literally are being like enough people hate the leadership like more than but the majority of your country is not being tricked by the government or not letting the government at least placate them or calm them, where enough people are like, forget this, we need to do government, then that leads to legit changes enough where something happens.
And are we doing this revolution in Gucci slides? Or
right now
we go to Walmart and buy the combat boots?
Yeah, but we're not involved because America hasn't gone off that because it's teetering on that level. It's scary, and you didn't even. It's scary that America is even teetering on that level, because you didn't think it can. Because America's kind of at a risk of going communist, and that's a scary
Give
prospect.
me an
That's
example.
The worst. That'd be the end.
Give me an example of America going communist.
Out where people where people specifically having to. So communism about control of the government having central control, and people not a fascism state is central control, meaning that there's no individual rights that a citizen has. Government has, and there's nothing that says. Wait, what am I differentiating?
Well, the question was. What was the question?
When does that's right? Because I started describing it, and then I started. All right, so I think we were. What makes it? In what way is America going communist?
Right.
All right. So the difference between a communist versus capitalist state is one, the market. In capitalist state, a market determines the economy, and a communist state, government determines the economy. Every aspect in, I guess, social life, they determine that. We're still in a thing, capitalist, where we still, what we do in our homes should still be, our own business. It shouldn't be, and we see that slowly, little changes where people were being compelled to wear masks in our home. Now, we didn't get to the point where they said you have to wear masks in our home, but they teetered so far where you got to walk outside. So so we did get close to kind of losing our individual, I guess, freedom. And it's not like, I don't mean, when I say capitalist versus communism, that's based on the economy. What I really was talking about was the American Constitution, which we specifically protect individual freedoms because we believe it's God given. So if those freedoms get taken away, and if we lose, I guess, the philosophy of America under capitalism and it becomes communism, then our Constitution can very well go along, with it. So, but then along with our individual freedoms.
So basically, you're saying that America possibly could become like Puerto Rico.
I'm ignorant about what's going on in Puerto Rico. I know, but America's run. Puerto Rico is a part of America, technically.
Right, and if you look at things like, I think it's called the Jones Act, and there are a lot of things that are put into place to have this communistic kind of control, and you fear that, and you see that if we're gonna, do you say that this communistic possible control that we're having or could be put on the people, Donald Trump will be able to stop this from happening?
No, it's not about an individual. It's not about an individual stopping or not stopping. It's about just allowing us to have, because a lot of people still do believe that 2020 election was stolen. He lost by 40,000 votes, I believe. 10,000 in one state, 10,000 in another state, and 20,000 in one state. That's crazy. And there was a lot of, and there's such thing as close voting, but a lot of these, there's shenanigans going on with a lot of these voting machines and the legitimacy of a lot of these people voting. They where they should they have been able to cast votes and things along those lines. So when you start, and when things like that start to happen, and it happens, if it happened like that again in 2004, when I first heard the conviction happen, I did get a flash and thought, oh shoot, maybe something again will happen, and then that starts to and the things like that starts to, where are you, 4 years, boom, and then the hope might dwindle this next 4 years. Now Trump wins, that might bring the hope again up, and things might, and if we start to see things actually working properly under Trump, then people might say, all right, it might lift a little bit of the spell of some of these crazy idealists and some of these leftists, just slightly enough where you take some of the ones that aren't, because some people you're just never going to get back. They're just gone. Lizzo's gone. In fact, Lizzo's not even gone, because Lizzo attaches.
She's singer.
Lizzo,
singer artist.
Yeah, the singer artist Lizzo. She's like, she's like an archetype of somebody who, and she's very politically. Besides her body image, she's very politically, I guess, motivated, and she speaks out a lot on things she doesn't know anything about. But people like her, they're I don't know if they're necessarily going to change, and she's just an image. I'm using Lizzo as an example, or images. People who are so stuck, they're going to be so stuck in their crazy leftist liberal ways. No matter, you're not going to be able to move them over to the center, or move them over to reason, even if, Trump does one. But there are some of those few that can still be saved, and, God's not going to do anything with Lizzo. But these are still people more so that can still take his hand and, I guess, God will help him.
know, I don't think that Trump is doing anything that he doesn't or didn't think was going to happen. And let me explain. What man can handle something like this? What human? And I'm not calling him an alien. I'm not saying that he's wearing some sort of meat suit and there's somebody like running the show, he's some sort of clone. No. I'm saying that this man is a man that wouldn't be doing what he's doing if he didn't know the outcome of what's happening right now. I am saying that he's in on it and that he's aware of the role that he's playing for whatever happens next. What's going to happen next? I don't know. But I do not believe that this is a man who's getting charged with the Mar-a-Lago thing, getting charged with the paying off the prostitute thing, getting convicted of 34 felonies. I'm not in any way, shape, or form believing that this is something that he didn't know was happening, because who in the world could handle something like this? This guy is cool as a cucumber.
I mean,
he stepped on. You have to. You kidding me? This is the kind of thing that will make a person. This will make you snap. This will blow your mind.
Yeah,
We talking
he's in a
about
political forum. He's looking to run for president. He's not gonna. How is he gonna conduct himself? He's not gonna start freaking out. He has to show strength.
I don't think another person could. I think they would have bowed out months and months and months and months and months and months and months ago. This is a uphill battle that no one could do with a straight face. This man is 80 years old.
Yeah, but he has he has an insane amount of support and like hardcore, like,
yeah,
he's become like he's like, for a subset, whatever John F. Kennedy was for just a whole different subset of people. He's like, I don't even know a president had like he has intense love. Like, he has real followers.
I have a friend who cried.
He has like a kind of like, we haven't seen. I don't remember the last time a president had this kind of, like, Bill Clinton had crazy charisma. Obama had crazy charisma, but Trump's people love him. That's like different.
You can't bring up Obama in this point and counter my point, because Obama knew exactly what was going to happen.
No, I'm not.
The way it was going to happen from when he was Barry Soriano, whatever his name
I'm not
was.
I wasn't countering your point at all. I was talking about just talking about the difference in how Trump is kind of different as a candidate than we've seen, like, just generally, whether in on it or not, like, in on it. He kind of has a different, like, and, you know, I don't think anybody should put all their eggs in any politician basket. So, I support Trump, but I just think he's a better candidate than Biden. It's not, no one's my, no one's my hero. What am I, a child? No person to be, he would be a better candidate and more fit candidate. So I don't think, yeah.
The first book I ever read was "A Hero Is Nothing But a Sandwich."
Thank you.
Continue.
But the shit. Now what the fuck?
I think Emilio Estevez was in the movie version of that book. Well, you said he's nobody's your hero, so I remember that book.
So that
hero is nothing but a sandwich. I was like 12.
Yeah. Oh, people should be more like focused on, like, maybe focus more in on politics, so they're not just saying, oh, Trump, Trump needs to do like this. Trump's going to save us from this and that. Maybe if you're more inclined on local politics, and maybe you'll be more focused on things that affect you. Because again, I didn't even say this yet, but the president really makes his bones on foreign policy, how he deals with other countries, not domestic policy. Your domestic policy, you're going to feel it most through your mayors and your governors. Your president, that's it. It's a big federal policy. First of all, president that makes sweeping federal changes are kind of tyrannical, because that goes across 50 states. You're saying, boom, from my central point, I'm going to make sweeping changes across the board. That's more tyrannical. That goes against America's thing. We have, that's libertarians. That's why libertarians want to go to more of a states like rights thing. That's why people think it's bad if they're not thinking through it on the abortion thing. People think you're taking away women's rights for taking away Roe versus Wade. No, you're just not imposing that abortion on states. So individual states can say, all right, I'm going to vote for this governor because they're for abortion. I'm going to vote for this governor because I'm against abortion and they're against abortion. Therefore, the people in that state get to fulfill their truths, their personal truths. But all right, I'm off my soapbox.
No, I need you still on your soapbox.
I don't know.
Here's where we're gonna go. I said that Donald Trump, and let's not poo-poo this. Let's not poo-poo this in any way. Donald Trump knows exactly what's happening because there's a bigger picture. Let me just say this. Why would a person run for an office that they got robbed for? Wouldn't they just get robbed again? Why?
I mean, if you think like that,
why would he do that? If he knows this is his point, this is his thing, and he has proof of it, that they were doing this, they were doing that. They have all the evidence. Why would you run again if you know that they have the power and the ability and willing to do whatever it takes to put the person up there that they want? Because the president is not elected, he's selected. And once that Supreme Court justice died, they didn't need Trump anymore. So
the polls are significantly better for Trump than he ran last time. So if there was such a margin because part of the reason why Trump, there was able for shenanigans is because there was a low margin where the states would change on 10,000 or 20,000 or 10,000 votes, and Trump was essentially like either behind or neck to neck on the polls when the election did finally happen. But now Trump on most polls, they don't, and the conviction really hasn't done anything to him. And Biden has been such a, if anything, you would think, if anything, it's not so much that's Trump in on it. It's that the Democrats have so badly won so seeded that Biden's going to lose this election that they're not even trying. They're just giving it to Trump. And then they're going to do whatever shenanigans they do when Trump is in presidency.
Who's going to do the shenanigans?
You're saying that it's all planned altogether, right? It's a collective plan.
It's a huge plan.
There's a plan.
This is a show. We're watching a show.
So Trump's opposition. So who would be opposing Trump? That's who would be, I guess, planning something to counter him. So Trump's opposition. I guess that's what you can say who. So that would be who's saying. Now, let's give the election to Trump, so we can absolutely set up some other COVID-like, some kind of disaster, some nonsense, or something where we can prove Trump's way of governing is incorrect, Trump's way of states' rights, or Trump's way of not a collective action is how you deal with problems. And that's ultimately what the UN wants. They want there to be a collective governing body, and they don't want states to have their own destinies or have their own autonomy. So I think if anything, they would want Trump to win, because it'd reflect more poorly if Biden for another 4 years is just terrible and ineffective again. Because the last thing Democrats are going to do is actually going to try to do something good so they're reelected. They just want to show how Republicans are bad to get elected. They won't actually do anything for anybody. They'll just show. They'll do it through you. If you don't, we don't do a lot for you. But if you deal with them, there's gonna be Jim Crow and lynching and all that kind of stuff. So it's not so. the opposition to Trump, their common way of doing things is kind of just the, fear tactics or doing stuff like that. So I think Trump, they're gonna give up this election, and I think after they give up this election, they're gonna do some kind of shenanigans that show we as a world need to act collectively. And it's going to be something, who knows.
You're talking about New World Order. You're talking about the one world government.
I'm talking about the UN. I'm talking about specific. So I'm talking specifically the groups that are going to do that. And I think Trump is in opposition to NATO. Trump wants the U.S. to remove itself from NATO.
Right.
So that's who's
Trump must have read the
NATO's
UN
the biggest
initiative.
evil. NATO's the biggest. NATO wants the world to be communist under NATO, not communist individually. So that's essentially the New World Order, and the people that's who are part of it. And they're different people, heads, different rich actors support all this. So it's a evil alliance through business owners and intelligence agencies and high-level military officials, UN and stuff like that, and Trump is in opposition to that, and that's why they're going after. And now he could very well be an undercover. Anything can happen, in terms of us being tricked, but that's why you shouldn't be too dependent. As soon as when Trump starts messing up or starts to get in line with the Democrats, then we should say forget him, and that's how you're supposed to vote. So I don't know if Trump's a part of it though, to answer your question.
If this world was real, right, what would you say that Trump would have to say in order to get elected, or has he said it already?
He doesn't have to say it. He just points at Biden. He doesn't have to say where he went.
And go like this.
He just goes this. Come on. Come on. But come on. He doesn't have to do. He doesn't have to do anything. And
we have to.
My 4 years versus his 4 years. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have to. Yeah, all he has to do is show up the gas prices. This was me. And this is Biden.
I had tangible stuff.
And that's all he has to do, right?
And I've dealt with the crazy world-stopping event no president has ever dealt with besides the COVID stuff. And he listened to advice. The COVID.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
Right.
The crazy. Nobody's ever dealt with some craziness like that ever. Mm-hmm. And he got chastised for taking advice. He got he's like, okay, I'm gonna listen to those. You're telling me I should do this stuff. You're experts. Okay, I'll do this. That's what. So it's not even. So
Okay, so if I was to answer that question, the world being real, and this is not some sort of construct where we're watching just another show, right? I would say that in order for him to win, he needs to say something like this. Now that I'm a convicted felon, all you convicted felons out there get to have your Second Amendments rocking and rolling. You get to own a weapon again.
That'd be a terrible idea.
Right? And reparations. You're getting blacks, you're getting your reparations.
Neither of those things would help him. Both of them will do the opposite, get elected, because that'll stop some of his base.
Well, there's a million. I think there's a million. I think there's at least 1 million convicted felons that will vote for him.
But we already saw that we don't know we don't know the length to which they can vote or can vote. If it's like 10 years, 5 years, so how long the sentence was. So whatever it was, he's not going to get 100. He's not going to get 100% of the convicted felons, but he.
No, I'm only talking about 1 million of them. That's probably
so he's going to get a small percentage of it. But how much of his percentage of his can he lose with that stuff? Because he didn't run on reparations.
Well, he didn't run on. If he needs to tell black people, you're getting your reparations.
But he's against government spending. If government spending.
Yeah,
but reparation has to come from government spending. It has to raise taxes.
No, it doesn't actually have to raise taxes. That's a lie. All the money that we've given to this place over here, the Ukraine, all that money that was given to them, if Trump now has felons, and he's going to get 99.999% of the black vote. Okay, that's 57. All right, he's going to
Because
get.
there's a percentage of blacks who's not about that.
You telling me that a black person that's born here in this country, American black slavery.
You're talking about New York City black. You're talking about
no.
people in New York City who celebrate felons. That's
Who
different.
celebrates felons?
What I'm saying, you're saying you're saying based on that he's gonna get 99% of the black vote based on the rights he gives. Oh, based on reparations. I thought you were talking about the founding.
No. Reparations.
No, I don't. But I don't think so because black people don't agree. Black people don't agree. A lot of black people don't agree with reparations.
Has black people ever had a person say that they're gonna get reparations while I'm in office?
Wait.
Remember what he did with the historically black colleges? He was like, y'all ain't even got to come back over here and do this song and dance no more. Here's 10 years worth of money.
Yeah, but that's not reparations.
Then Biden, I know that, but what I'm saying is just that then Biden came and shut that down. All I'm saying is that he has that power to make things happen.
But that's different than reparations. You're talking about giving a stipend to an entire population of people.
Right.
So you talk about each people. So think about. And 12% of I don't know how many people of Americans there are. 12% of that you giving, what would be enough for them? Because some reparations might be a slap in the face. Think about $1,000. All right, here you get $1,000. That could
Who's
either.
Gonna give? Nobody's talking $1,000.
All right, so you think so? I'm just black people of black origin who would get reparations,
right.
And is some more black people gonna get more? Like, say, is 100% black, is half, he's gonna get 50%.
It's okay, Ulrich. You're gonna get a check, Ulrich.
I don't want a check.
It's all right, Ulrich. You're gonna get a check.
I want to be
so it's time to go to get a check. You ain't signing up. You're not gonna get the check. You're not gonna take the check.
I'm not a baby. I'm not gonna cry for it. If you give it,
now you're not gonna cry. That's not the question. Whether you're gonna cry for a check. I'm not crying for anything. Would you take the check?
So there's two. So again, there's two different. There's two completely different things when someone's saying, "I want a check," and there being $500 on the ground. That's way two different things. I mean, come on, that's two. I want a check with $500 on it with the picket sign, and there being $500. Those are two different moral.
I don't even know the analogy. I don't even understand.
Yeah, but you're saying
I'm talking about your name.
You're saying because I'm saying I don't care. I don't care about reparations, and you're asking me whether or not I would take money, take free money. Me care better representation and me being able to take. So I think you're asking. Maybe let me try to understand your question. Maybe you're trying to say that. Am I so against representation that I wouldn't accept the benefits that comes with it?
Right.
No, that's stupid.
Exactly.
But I still reparations not. But that doesn't make reparations just. I'm talking about you thinking of executing.
But you should be saying this. Hell no, I don't want that check. Don't give me none of that. Nah, no, thank you. I'm good. I don't want that. If the check is coming, I'm gonna return it. Return the sender.
That's right. But think about the actual problems though. It would actually cause if you are actually given, I guess, what I don't know who
50 million.
What would 50 million? That's not even 50 million. If you have to give it to the entire black population or entire.
No, we're talking about ADOS, American Descendants of Black.
So then you're gonna build. That's a great way to start divide and conquer, because the kind of hostility you're gonna build among black people who say, oh, why shouldn't, just because my mother was taken by a white person doesn't remove her struggle. You're gonna just start hostility among these halvesies who already have complexes among themselves. No offense, who already have. I
think you're the one with the complex. What light skinned person got complex?
What I'm saying, maybe take the archetypes of light skin, especially that manifest in, I guess, celebrity, or the very expressive light skins who somehow have been more oppressed than actually darker skinned people, because they're the Jesse Williams are the loudest people, the Jussie Smolletts and the
Adam Clayton Powell,
the cream color. But you have to see the comedy of that. I'm saying it more that it's just ridiculous. But so I'm saying that and I don't know, maybe some some halvesies are comfortable in their own skin. That's right. I don't know.
Halvesies seems very derogatory.
I don't care. Who cares?
Right, I'm just saying. Halvesies seems derogatory.
Yeah.
Halvesies.
That's that. That's what they go. I say that a bunch.
You're
of
a halvesy.
I do that. All right, I'm fine. But I'm not trying to say. No, I'm not saying what is better than the other. I'm talking about the problem. We already talked about reparations for a little bit. I already thought about 10,000, not 10, a bunch of problems that it's going to potentially cause, as opposed to how it would actually help black people come. Because the only reparations is only useful is if it some offsets the, I guess, the what's it called, the handicap that black people receive from slavery. If it doesn't do that, then it's useless. So if you're going to do that, what degree or what amount of money would you be able to offset? Because then it has a purpose. Otherwise, it's just fake. It's just bull. So what degree would you say would be enough money that would, stop a person that did not have, I guess, parents to pay him from a pay.
$250,000.
$250,000 for the entire black population
over a 30-year period.
That's still that's so crazy, though. So then divide that. So divide 250,000 to 30 years. So that's how much
it's
you
less.
pay.
It's less than what they. It's
Each
less than
year.
what they gave the Ukraine.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to the Ukraine, and I'm against. I'm 100% against that too. So that's a whole nother. I think that's useless. And again, that's Trump's. That's indicative of NATO. Man.
So why do we give?
It's because we're courting Ukraine. Because Ukraine
gives Ukraine
I'm
all
not
this
okay
money,
with it. That's bad.
And then black people, we can't even try. Other black people, the Jamaicans are gonna get pissed off.
But I'm just saying it's a bad. I'm not saying that one. Just because one thing is bad doesn't have to do another thing. It's so both are bad things. The Ukraine thing is not a good thing in and of itself. But just because we do one bad mistake or not one. We make many bad mistakes as a country. But just because you're doing that doesn't mean you just do something. That's democratic. That's democratic. That right there is democratic. Like that, what you just said specifically. Only because that's like, oh well, if you got enough money for this, why not give it up? Why are we not getting the schools? But it is more complicated than that, and that's the difference between Democrats and Republicans. That right there, because the Democrat they just be saying things that they don't know the effect it's gonna do later on, and it's gonna mess up the world. And I'm not trying to call you a Democrat. That wasn't.
I'm not a Democrat. You saying that my opinion was Democratic? It's okay, because here's the thing. I know that some of the opinions of Democrats are good, and some of the opinions of Republicans are good. Some of the opinions of Libertarians are good. Some of the opinions of the Conservative Party is good. The Tea Party, the Green Party. Yeah, everybody has to have something good. I can't just limit my speech to sound like some sort of tribe that I'm not part of. I know that there needs to be some, like, let me say this to you, right? The Constitution said that the right to bear arms should not be infringed, and that means even a felony. If you paid your dues to society, then what's the issue? I can never, like me, I told you, I make a joke all the time. I got arrested for stealing flowers on New Year's Eve when I was 17 years old and got a felony for it because I was a young, stupid kid, and my lawyer told me to take it. It was a good deal. It was ridiculous.
Well, that's it.
But let me just say this, right? So we have this situation that has happened. So you're saying that I no longer should be able to or ever hold a firearm because of something that happened to me when I was 17 years old?
So if you ask, I think what you're asking me is should like people who haven't committed violent crimes be able to hold firearms? So that's it, like, yeah, because you referred to the flower things, and that's a legitimate debate. I don't know. I don't think.
Yeah, because people broad stroke this felony thing when I was if anyone would ever told me, listen, if you take this charge for the rest of your life, you will not be able to not only get an apartment, you only can live in the ghetto, you can never get an apartment anywhere nice, and would have broke that down. And I said, nah, I don't want this. I want a fucking trial. I would have said that. And I bet you the guy, the immigrant who was illegally in the country, who was working on the side of the deli where the flowers were, and I snatched up some roses and I ran, would probably never went to court. He would have probably just said, nah, I don't want no problems. I don't want to go to court. No matter, even if they told him, if you testify, we're not going to deport you, none of that. Don't worry. He probably would have been like, maybe I don't go to court.
Yeah, and I got to admit, even, being I guess going to juvie and being, I guess, somewhat in the child justice system, I knew for a fact at a young age, if I got a felony, that would mess me up. I definitely knew that even before. Like that, I knew, just stay away from whatever you do. Just stay away from that. So it is.
Where did you learn it from, though? You didn't just know this.
It was in my head. It was in my head. It was in my head.
From what? Something you read? Something you saw on TV?
I don't. There wasn't
maybe
like a
mom?
I didn't. It wasn't like a. You ever seen the Boondocks with the?
I never watched the Boondocks.
All right, so I get, but
I just seen clips. I only seen clips.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a magical epiphany moment when I said, "Oh, now I'm not like I watched a prison song."
Yeah, I would never get a felony now. That's for sure.
That specifically was in my head. I knew that was something I was very cognizant of, or like aware of. Like I didn't have that. I didn't have that switch about, even though I wasn't getting any booty when I was a teenager. I didn't have that fear in my head about like sex or anything like that. I didn't have the opportunity to, but if I did, I probably would have went for it when I was a teenager. But I don't remember having something, but I think some kids have that in their head, early, and they don't remember that time. They have
taught behavior. Like me, I was afraid of sex too because of AIDS. When I was 14 years old, it was 1988. So we talking about AIDS is popping in every corner. They like have vans just giving kids, hey, have a condom. I was like, well, I ain't even having sex yet. They said, no, take the condom, because if you don't use this condom, then you're gonna you're gonna die. So they were promoting that like crazy when I was coming up. So I understand the point you're making. My point to you is that this fear that you had, that you knew not to get, that was something you learned. You just don't remember where you learned it from.
That's what
I unfortunately didn't have a chance to learn that, to have that taught to me and told to me. And I suffered for it, and I continue to suffer for it.
Yeah, but
50-year-old man.
Yeah, but still, I don't know about like, because I do think kids hear a lot. We as kids hear a lot, and there's a lot of things. I think there's just things we attach ourselves to as kids. Because there's a lot of advice I've gotten when I was a kid, and I just haven't taken. Specifically, like that's why I use the sex analogy, like things like how reckless, like I've been and stuff like that. And put myself in really, bad situation that could actually compromise and ruin the rest of my life, and financially in different ways. So, but it wasn't that. So it wasn't that I wasn't taught that. I just didn't listen. So I think kids are told different. Kids are told things over time. They just, certain things just go. They just don't want to hear certain things, and I'm a victim to that. So yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. But that stuff I'm against that stuff, because they be lying to kids in the charter schools. Talking about kids never learn how to. Kids hear a lot. Kids get advice on a regular basis, but they just so kids just decide to attach themselves to something, and they don't. You as an adult need to put the parameters around the kids so that you're making sure that the advice you tell them gets reinforced.
Seriously, no, dude, we're on the same page, man. I had no emotion whatsoever to the Donald Trump verdict, because there's no way ever you are going to find in the history of the courts where a person gets convicted of 34 charges, maybe like 18 out of the 34. Well, the 34. So that right there, I know the gig is up. I also find it very suspicious that this man would be running again for the presidency, knowing that they robbed him for the first one. You get robbed once, shame on them. You get robbed twice, it's shame on you. Like, who's gonna do that? And then he walked out of that courtroom feeling like, yo, this judge is this judge is that, this court is this, Ray.
He's
and
been
he was
like that.
Cool as a cucumber. I need to
He's
see.
like that. He's been like that,
How
though.
you
He's
so
been
damn
like
tough
he's
unless you
been
know?
like
You
that.
only tough like
Some
that when
people
you
are
are
like
in
that.
on it.
Some people are like. Some people are
Only
not.
when you're in
No,
on it.
some people are not afraid to die. You think these people are not? Some
I'm not
people.
afraid to die.
But what I'm saying is Trump. Some people. I know. Trump is. It's not like Trump is just
Excuse me.
absolutely.
Let me just keep
Yeah,
talking.
it's not that Trump is like destitute. Obviously, Trump is living a somewhat, nice life, and he gets, whisked off to places, and he has a lot of protection on him. But he still puts himself in a is a somewhat dangerous situation. And has a lot of powerful people after him, even though he himself is a powerful person. He's still opposing very powerful forces who really hate him, and he's running again because he's not afraid to die. That's what I think, or he's not. Some people just don't. Some people just think. I'd rather. I would be more uncomfortable living comfortably if I had to compromise my principles. And that's why a lot of people still aren't, vaccinated. I wish I had. I wish I had, I wouldn't be vaccinated if that, there were just no opportunities. So, and to this day I'm guilty, and that weighs on you because you feel like you compromise your principles. You literally feel like you're soft. It feels like you ran away from a fight, and that
That's
stuff
very honest of you
that
to
feels
say
on
that.
your
That's real.
like
That's real.
strums on your heart, man. So it's tough when sometimes it's better to feel like uncomfortable and stuff. That's why I get why people don't do things and stay in jail cells for long times and stuff like that, because even if you're in a comfy bed, man, you're not going to be comfy in your head when you really compromise yourself, man. So
And you do have some guilt over that.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Well, that's honest, and I appreciate you being honest about that because
I almost
there
feel my eyes roll up. Jeez, that's intense, man. I don't know, so deep inside me.
it's deep because it's true, man. Pause, no diddy. It's just, it's a lot. You're not alone. Can I tell you that? You're not alone. Other people feel that trickery and that testing of who you are. You see, I'm a little different, I've been heavy in the cannabis world for 10 years, so I kind of made my own rules. But what about if I was working for someone and that person was like, you can't come back to work, and I'm thinking I won't be able to provide for my family, would I have taken the job? So, all these things, is real. You took it because you were in a whole nother state. You was needing to work. You needed to build up some money so you can get out of the state that you were in. And you took the job, man. So don't be so hard on yourself. But I'm glad that you are hard on yourself enough to know that, you sacrificed your principles.
I mean, that showed. I know for a fact I felt strongly enough where I knew it hurt me once I like did it. So
Right.
yeah. Maybe just have stuff like that in your life.
You heard where AstraZeneca, they got out of that. They totally don't even push that product anymore.
Yeah.
They were like, whoa, we done all the research. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. I try to answer a text. But it's I'm really glad to hear you say that. 'Cause you and I, we've talked about it, when you first came back to New York. And I know it weighed on you then when you said it. It was like it took you a while to even to discuss it. And I told you then I wasn't going to judge you. I've afforded my lifestyle in a way where I don't have to conform. And I got COVID at 350 pounds.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got it.
Yeah. I got COVID at 350 damn pounds and was able to, knock that thing out. It was the worst flu I ever had, but the first flu, that was the third flu. The first two flus, I thought I was going to die then, but the first two flus, I thought I was going to die, and then the 24 hours at that day, I was like, maybe I should be writing my will. Damn, I should be writing my will. And then the next day I started feeling a little better.
Yeah.
I started feeling a little better. I was like, oh, this one, I had 7 to 10 days of that. And then you start thinking, I just told wifey, I told her all the passcode. I said, here's my passcode. And she was just like, oh, I said, I said, here's the passcode for the stocks and all that kind of stuff. You know, you can, you know, this is the Bitcoin, this is the stocks, and I love you, you know. And she, you know, she was there and she took care of me for those 10 days. I went and got a hotel room and just, you know, fought that. I actually stood in that hotel room 3 weeks at $200 a day.
I remember you calling me during that time.
Right,
You said
right,
you never
right.
felt that sick, that kind of sick before.
Right. You were in Texas at the time, correct? Were you in
I
Texas?
don't know if I was in Austin.
Oh, you didn't leave
Was I
yet.
in Austin?
You didn't even leave
I
yet.
don't remember if I was in Austin because I had to wanted to meet me.
Right.
So I couldn't
Right.
get to Texas. Yeah.
Well, we're over that. Donald Trump is a man that has a lot of options here. He can grab the felons and the black people like that. So I'm just saying he needs to utilize this to his benefit. Will he go to jail is my question to you.
No, he's not. They already so I don't know the full jargon on it, but I just listen to legal experts that I trusted. What's this guy's? Who's that guy? Who I didn't like him at one point, but he's
Valuetainment guy?
no, Dershowitz.
Oh, I don't know Dershowitz.
Alan Dershowitz. You know
Oh
Dershowitz.
yeah, Alan
You talked about him
Dershowitz.
before.
Yeah.
So that I don't believe that, you know, some things. So I don't believe there's an avenue. I don't know it enough to explain it towards where there's not an avenue where he's still going to be able to run and stuff like that. But from what I believe and what, you know, people I trust and do go to information that's not. He's good to go as far as running and stuff like that, and he's definitely going to appeal the charge. He's definitely going to appeal them after the fact. But it's almost like a slap, like, you know, now you're a convicted felon. Yeah. Like that's
well, that's going to be the new
elites.
word. Every word that they're going to say against him is convicted felon. When he finished his speech, a reporter yelled out loudly as he's walking away, because he didn't take any questions. He just made his statement after the court, which they forced him to sit in the courtroom and waited for a verdict. That, they said, has never been done. Who the hell doesn't get to leave, go to their hotel, and then they call the lawyer?
They treat him. They're showing you're not one of us anymore. That's why I believe in Trump. That's why I believe. I'm telling you, I really do. That's why I believe Trump. They're treating this guy who probably never knew. He probably only knew privilege. They're saying now you want to be one of the people. Now you are one of the people, and that's how.
See, that's why I think it's that more proof. I think it stays. They're trying to stir the pot to get people angry about stuff like that. Little tiny incremental steps of anger will lead to this thing that you talked about, where I say not only were wars staged, so not necessarily staged.
But it's not effective warfare because it's working against them. It's making Trump look like a person. He's being persecuted unfairly, unjustly. So it's making him look like some hero. Like he's overcome. Like even this, he'll overcome.
Who thinks Trump looks like a hero?
Well, Trump is he's being unfairly persecuted by or prosecuted by the justice system.
Right.
That's
this is why my title is my nigga.
Yeah, but that's what. Yeah, but
they did the same thing to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're galvanizing him. They're making him. They're built like their warfare is working against them. So it's almost. So it's almost. So I think you're saying that Trump is. How could Trump like still be cool going through all this nonsense? Like, how is that possible? And I think the question I have is, how could the Democrats be this inept at warfare? Like, how are they doing it? So they're so transparent in what they're doing towards Trump. It's not even like subtle. Like, I don't even know how their people are not even like that. Oh no, the last night at the bar, I was talking to some freaking bleeding heart lady, little bigums. But the
big back energy.
Yeah, she was a big lady. You know, it was late. But anyway.
How did it go?
Nothing happened, man. I get that, but
wait a minute. Did you get rejected by the big?
No, I didn't. I didn't get
rejected.
I actually went. Yeah, I actually left. But
you weren't drunk enough.
Yeah, actually, that. But this is all right.
She was too liberal. You said I'm leaving, and I'm bringing taking my friend here with me.
We talked about it because we were, I was with this this person we had met at a Trump rally, and so we were both saying, it wasn't even it wasn't necessarily two gifts because it wasn't ganging up because you was doing most of the talking, just yapping. But she said something about how, because they were mentioning the trial and show trial, and she was like, that's kind of how it works now. They do their bad stuff, and we do we do our bad stuff. They go low, they go low, we go low. And then what I try to break down here, which was just going over it, you can't differentiate yourself as the moral high ground or think you're better as opposed to him and this guy's bad. If you are doing these kinds of bad things, you can't say he is subverting democracy if you are then doing that to oppose him. That's craziness. But that was it. She didn't hear any other because they're all broken. They don't hear anything. They just don't. It hits them in the head, these words. But that it's funny that she had it because what I realized, they just reconcile with the point. It's not even like, because how I'm seeing is that you're being so transparent, like Democrats are being so transparent in the way they're attacking Trump that it blows my mind. Like, how people not go like, this is just ridiculous and unfair. Even people like with you's gonna be like, bro, what are you doing? It's like you're playing a one-on-one game in basketball, and even though this one guy's a crap talker, you're just straight cheating. Like, one guy, we don't like this person on the court, but you're not even playing basketball. You're like elbowing him in the face. Like, I know he talks a lot of trash, but you're not playing basketball with us. But so the Democrats, but from this just talking to this person, the way she was talking about it seemed like she just reconciled with the fact that's like whatever they're doing is completely justified. It's not even to differentiate. It's just like, it's just politics. It's just like that's probably the language they're just hearing.
And that's that Kamala Harris thing when they were like, well, didn't you say that Joe Biden was a racist? And she said that's just politics.
Yeah. I mean, how?
That's politics.
So you say nothing. You say I shouldn't listen to anything you say. I shouldn't. You say you're a liar. So I shouldn't take what you say seriously if I know you're just gonna take base. Unbelievable. That's fascinating.
I think that right now, we the people are way too involved in the politics that are not dealing, they're not like, I kind of like the libertarian aspects where New York will do something and Mississippi will do something different and something else will do something.
Rights, baby.
This all that kind of stuff. I think is kind of cool because then you kind of get to pick and choose what state you're gonna move to.
For real,
where you're gonna live.
If you hate it here, just go to that
this
state.
This state is kind of trash. I'm gonna go here to this state for this and go to that state for that. But what we have to understand is that we have this thing called the federal government, and the federal government is huge, much bigger and larger than our forefathers ever wanted us to do. What say you to the guy or group that are looking to maybe take on some sort of arms and maybe express themselves in some sort of like angry way for their guy Trump? What say you to these guys who maybe would like attempt to go up against this Goliath, this behemoth, this huge machine that we here call America, and its defense aspects of it? What say you to the guy who's considering maybe challenging that?
You're talking about going an uprising against the American government with force? And that'd be stupid. But secondly, we haven't even got to that point where that's a conversation.
I'm so glad you said that.
So that's
I'm so glad you said that. This is what. Let's go to the last clip I sent you. I sent you a clip. It's only like 15 seconds. And tell me what you think about what's being said in this clip.
Plane crashes or something happens and Donald Trump does perish, that's it. A plane, God forbid, a plane crashes or something happens and Donald Trump does perish, that Civil War, that movie that we saw and all that shit that they're trying to get us to, PBD, that's what's going to happen, because that's going to be the spark that lights this whole bitch ablaze, because that's the only way they can stop this guy, because the way that we're seeing it, He's winning. This is, God forbid, a plane
Something that you
crashes.
said. This is how Donald Trump is now being this sort of like you said, people are gonna like him more because they're seeing how horrible he's being treated. That people are gonna say, hey, maybe this could happen to me in my business or my family or my friends or my uncle, cousin, whatever have you. This guy is saying, what if they kill Donald Trump in order to get some sort of uprise happening?
Well, I think there's a reason that Trump hasn't named his vice president yet. I think he's being very careful about that choice, and he plans to succeed him, because I think that will really determine how they move in terms of that. Because I think they're very well. I think that what that guy's saying is very well legitimate. I think that the machine's actions are only. I mean, I wouldn't say they're escalating, because they did it to John F. Kennedy. So I don't know if the machine's actions are necessarily escalating, but there's precedence for, people who go against the machine, being dealt with. So if a John F. Kennedy thing happens to Donald Trump, I think I think a lot of that will be dependent on who's the vice president. I think the Speaker of the House is still I forgot who the Speaker in the House is. I haven't been watching been on that C-SPAN to play. I even forgot who the heck it is. Anyway, but then, because the lineup is the President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. So if that, I don't know if that ends up happening, that I think the Vice President would really determine the scared. I think if we get somebody like who's a strong Vice President, that could, I guess, bode well in case they do for Trump fans, or who I guess who's strong and a strong supporter of Trump, and who's not wishy-washy. So that's why he should never get a Vivek Ramaswamy, because he's a politician. You should never get like a Nikki Haley. She's a politician. People like that as his vice president would be, it'd be a little scary. He should really get a scary vice president. Somebody who, if he gets got that
Nugent?
Ted Nugent, not no, but he should get. But that could hurt him. But that could hurt him too, because if he gets because that could affect his ticket, like moving forward, especially because this But he should. No.
You're talking about his presidency. I'm talking about before he becomes president.
You mean get him?
What if something happens to Donald Trump before a presidency?
I don't think that'll happen. But that'll be. I doubt that'll happen. Because then what you mean? What the outcome? The outcome, I don't know. I think that's unlikely. I think during his presidency, I think that those Democrats are going to do some shenanigans. I don't know what it is, but it's going to affect regular Americans, and somehow it's going to be blamed on Trump. I think that's their way. But if preempting that would be just so, like, they have been very transparent, but I think he's it'd be hard to get him got at this point, because I think he's very hyper cautious.
Excuse me?
No. What I mean is, I think he's very hyper cautious. No. Anybody can get got.
Right.
But I think something like
he might even I get it. Does he have food tasters? No.
I'd be shocked if Trump. I'd be shocked if he did. I would be shocked if Trump, the way the heat, the smoke he's got his entire presidency, if he doesn't have food, I'm shocked. I wouldn't trust anybody around me who's not my family. Right. I wouldn't trust. I would not trust any. I would be terrified. Trump finally has how real gang leaders feel, real top gang leaders.
Why you keep making my point? Then how can he be so damn freaking calm? That's not normal. Because this man is cool like a cucumber.
That's posturing. He's posturing. You can't look weak. He wants to be the leader of the free world. If how would it look if he looks again? Part of I think the gang stuff. Gang stuff in politics is probably the same as that. You've got to look a certain way. You mob stuff, you got to appear a certain way to a certain extent. And he does, and he's always appeared brash and strong. So I don't think that's why he's chilling. So he doesn't. That's a sign of a good leader. He's not gonna. A weak leader would be. Now I bet you. let me tell you, if Kamala was in this situation, that's the first thing she would have been like, oh, you see how they trying to get me as a black woman? I can see her. She'd be completely.
Let's not change the subject.
I know. Yeah, that was yeah. I just attacked her. Just
a little jab at her real quick. But here's a question I do have. You answered some of it, but it's a little deeper. Donald Trump.
What are you doing?
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. She thinking. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking. You say he's not going to jail. I say, what if he gets sentenced to jail?
No, from what I understand
What will
about it, that's not a
happen?
possibility as far as because even sentence or not, it wouldn't affect his presidency, and you can't sitting president can't be put in jail or something. So that wouldn't affect that. How I understand that wouldn't affect his presidency. Maybe I'll explain it better next week when.
So he's not doing a consecutive bid of 4 years times 34.
The sentencing won't have from how I understand it to be, the sentencing won't have any indicator on if he 34 felonies. I mean, he is probably going to get if he said. I mean, now what would be fascinating if we see I don't know if there's mandatory minimums on each sentence in here, but if the I don't know if it's completely beholden to the judge, because that would make it sound political. So I don't even know if the judge would make a stand and say, because the judge should look like a hero or like a jerk. I sent you to 150 years, you evil. Right. Or he could say, but I don't know if the judge, if this case has to do with that. If he makes a stand, that would be crazy and says, you know what, I sentenced you to 2 hours community service, Mr. Trump. And I hope the next 4 years you'll be serving our community. That'd be some. I would stand up and cheer. I also stay like that in the sentencing.
Can I come up with being that this is possibly some sort of construct we're in, and this is some sort of script and story?
Yeah.
Let me add to the story.
Okay.
Let me slip in the way the government did, and pass these bills and. You know how they do these secret indictments. Let me get a little secret indictment going on here.
Okay.
I got the proper lighting for that too. This is the warm setting of the lighting, opposed to just. You ready?
I go.
All right. So, Donald Trump is at the courthouse. Donald Trump then gets sentenced to prison time. And they try to take Donald Trump into custody, and his Secret Service got to lay down the court office.
Oh, that'd be crazy. No, I don't think that. But if they would it be scary if they stepped aside or something like that, or something like they would compromise or something like that.
If they stepped aside and didn't protect him,
something like that happened. I think that would be demoralizing. That would be so demoralizing. That would start a civil war. Not the whole the Secret Service thing might somehow galvanize.
Wait, I'm sure Donald Trump got 3 or 4 Secret Service guys that are ready to go.
Yeah, probably for him. Yeah. Probably exactly. Just like a high level gang boss. He has people that like have crazy loyalty to.
Right.
That's what Trump is. Trump is kind of a gang. He has that kind of like energy. I can't imagine Biden having anybody that loyal to him. They probably just be well, but he's part of the.
Doing my job.
But he's part of the elite. But it's different. Biden's part of the elite, so he doesn't even. He has a whole circle of that. Him and his whole family. He had
the
big
Bones and all that.
Yeah, they're part of a big. Yeah, Biden's really the elite is more than Trump is.
Yeah, Trump is Trump is a real estate guy. You know, he's a deal maker. But let me tell you this: it would be amazing if when they go to step to the president and he goes, not today. And everybody, it's like a standoff. You remember the movie when they all pulled out guns and they were like, put your guns down. He said, fuck you, put your gun down. Nah, nigga, my gun bigger than your gun. I ain't putting my gun down. That was the first movie that Quentin Tarantino wrote. And it was starring, I can't remember who it starred, but it was a good movie. I have the, little short-term memory right now.
Not Main Streets.
No. The first.
No, that's
And it was a great
Scorsese.
shootout scene at the end, where no one put their gun down. Everybody pulled the trigger. It was a beautiful thing. So it'd be kind of cool to see, something like that. And what if Donald Trump pulls out his joints? He got those Donald Trump guns that was made by the guy that does the motorcycles.
You really do want to see a movie?
We're in the movie. Can I add to the movie?
Oh,
I'm asking, can I
gosh.
add to the movie? Don't poo-poo my story over here. This right here, look. You remember, Jesse James, the guy who makes the motorcycles? He makes,
I know Jesse James.
Yeah, he makes the motorcycles.
He dated Sandra Bullock, right?
He dated Sandra Bullock. This guy, he also now he makes guns. He doesn't make motorcycles anymore.
Yeah.
He makes guns. And he made Donald Trump these Donald Trump gold guns. So Donald Trump comes out with the gold guns and he lets the judge have it. And then they grab the district attorney right there, Times Square. They hang him right there in Times Square. And Donald Trump just holds the whole block.
I don't like that at all. That's in this at a bad precedence, man. America's not a gangster state. That's not what you want. Might be a gangster leader, but we just need a gangster in order to deal with these evil people.
So if we need a gangster, why we can't have a gangster pull out those cool guns that was made for him?
Yeah, but the gangster. Yeah, but he. What I mean, a gangster within the political confines. But I guess so what happened behind closed doors?
Dude, do you know they got people driving and their cars are exploding?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. No, I'm sure. No, I get what. Yeah, but I mean, like in terms of maybe not the political confines, the I guess political arena. So, because whatever happens, those car explosions that happen behind closed doors probably happen to, fixers and top officials who probably never heard their names. Those people who maybe helped them then. So, but the people in front of them, we're not seeing that. We're not. Seeing the rah-rah.
I want to see the shootout in the courthouse live.
Okay.
I want 4 angles of that. I want the Secret Service to start laying people down, moving him out the way. Ain't that their part of their job?
No, to protect them and to stop counterfeiting.
Yeah. Ulrich with the political low blow jab.
Well, that's their job. That's what they're doing.
With the liver shot.
That was a jab. That's what they're.
It's true.
For.
Right. I want to see that courthouse just start. I just want to see a straight up Quentin Tarantino with John Woo directing. I want Quentin Tarantino to write it and John Woo to direct it, and then I want Tom Cruise to produce it. That'll be a hell of a scene. That'll be a hell of a scene right there. So we've possibly just manifested. So
I didn't want that to manifest.
It's too late. We already put it out there. We took an idea that I had, and I put it out there into the verse. Nothing we can do about it. It's in
pray
there.
later to offset.
It's in there. Donald Trump is right now looking at those guns and wiping and cleaning them down. And he's going to go through the metal detectors. And them things are going to go off. Like in the Matrix when the metal detectors went off. And then they dropped the bag full of guns. And they were like, the security is like, oh, shit. Yeah. Don't put your hands on the president. Like, honestly, when the president was arrested, I couldn't believe the Secret Service allowed them to put handcuffs on that man. I couldn't believe. Didn't he have handcuffs on him?
I don't know if that was the case. I don't believe so.
I was possible. Like, sorry I didn't bring any water for you already.
Okay, it's okay, man.
I feel bad.
Sure.
Yeah, you're doing good. Donald Trump, I think we've diddied this enough. No diddy, no doubt. And Donald Trump, what do you think about this whole thing happening? What is it, April 17th? April 17th, Donald Trump goes to April, May, June, July 17th. Wait, when does he go for sentencing? Let me double check. Don't act like the Elvis ain't prepared here with a note or two. Yeah, July 11th, he gets sentenced. 4 days before the RNC.
Yeah, we talked about sentencing, didn't we? What would happen if he was sentenced?
No, what's going to happen with the Donald Trump going for sentencing 4 days before the RNC? Like, do you think there's any connection here?
Well,
Do you think
the
that
whole thing. Well,
there's
they're
always
doing
a
it.
connection?
Well, this is the year of the election, so there's a connect in general. This is the election year, so even for the RNC is probably moot compared to there's going to be a presidential election where that can be
Right.
brought up constantly. So I don't know if the RNCs it really matters so much, but again, I don't think the sentencing going to have anything to do with it because I don't think he's going to get arrested or he's going to get I guess reprimanded.
Well, I know that the
Or
first
remanded,
debate,
that's what it's called, remanded.
remanded,
They take you
right,
away.
where they take you away. That's when the Secret Service is supposed to pull out and stop that. And not today.
So I don't think this.
And they're acting as federal agents, so they can't even be. They have qualified immunity. They can't even be charged. If one of those,
I don't know that. I don't know that.
yeah.
How
If
that
any,
whole
if
dynamic
any
works.
of those, if any of the Secret Service pulls out their weapon and use that weapon, they cannot be charged.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fully know that. I don't think that's a shootout situation gonna happen, but you
I
know,
hope it does. Let's hope together.
I don't hope that.
And then with our hoping, we can manifest it.
It's just silly.
I think it. What do you mean silly? Don't put your hands on the president. Clack clack. Oh, they got one in the chamber, so they don't even gotta clack clack. They just gotta reach back up, back up. You heard me? Back up off the president.
Well, I hope not. If that's
And then you got some court officer who's never ever lifted up his weapon for anything, and he's gonna be over there talking about everything. Then they're gonna have the fat black lady in the court. That's an officer. She gonna be over there. Y'all gotta chill out. Come on, you know what I'm saying? You gotta chill. And she gonna slowly walk her way out of that room. I'll be back, y'all. They wilding in there. So I want to see somebody. You know, I want to see it happen, man. I'm ready. I'm ready, man. You know, why have CG? I mean, just a I mean, to me, that right there will set it off. They look. You don't have to kill this man to set off that kind of reaction in America. Because here's the problem: all those people on January 6th, so many of them went to prison. How many hundreds of them went to prison? They were looking all through social media, finding whoever was there, and they're locking your ass up. So there's a lot of people that feel like, man, I'm not gonna do nothing. They're gonna just send me to jail, like they did the January 6th people. So it has to be something drastic. But here's the thing: if it's not caught on video, then it doesn't matter. Then it just, come on. I want to see it on video.
Yeah, if that shootout actually does happen, it'll probably actually be hard to get the footage. I didn't even think about that.
Well, if it's live on Twitter,
it'll probably be black. Yeah, but you're not gonna probably wherever the footage is, you'll be black, and then it's gonna be on the dark web, something like that.
I know how to get to the dark web.
Well, maybe, but it's gonna be hard to get if that does happen.
I went to the dark web in 1999 or something like that. Like, whoa, this is interesting. So anyway, Donald Trump convicted. He's a felon, and I can comfortably say this. I don't know if I said it yet.
He's a felon?
My nigga.
Oh.
My nigga. My nigga. My nigga Trump. I can say it, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
He got screwed over by the justice system. He's been convicted of a crime he didn't. Well, I wouldn't say that. He's got convicted of a crime that nobody else has been convicted of. What say you about the fact that he paid this chick with the lawyer and then tried to write it off?
I don't even know. I haven't even looked into that.
Oh, you don't even know about this Stormy Daniels thing and all that.
I didn't look up any of that. That's just, I can care less.
Yeah, and then Trump needs to say, listen, that woman right there, that's my wife. I couldn't ask my wife to do what I asked this woman to do. Okay, come on. I love my wife. She has my kids. Come on.
But nah, I can care less about that. I didn't look once into those nonsense like Stormy Daniels.
She should be in prison for blackmail. If the world was real.
Extortion, yeah.
Yeah, if the world was real, she'd be in prison for blackmail. Forget about what he said he did with the money. All money is tax. I got to give him respect for trying to at least, explain the money and not be all cocky like that chick over there in In Georgia, that district attorney, son, I always keep money. I keep cash. Yeah. What? At least he's trying to make an excuse for the money that's moved. That shows like he respects money. I respect that. Anyway, thank you for stopping by and saying, hey, I'm Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg,
I'm over.
and we're Premium Black News. And I love you. That's a fact. And I think Ulrich got the big back girl last night. Boom.